So many loaves, so little time. I know, it's a first world problem, but it's legit. Today's little nugget of wisdom comes to us by way of Kahlil Gibran, and he says the following. Of the good in you I can speak, but not of the evil. For what is evil but good, tortured by its own hunger and thirst? Verily, when good is hungry, it seeks food even in dark caves. And when it thirsts, it drinks even of dead waters. Well, my friends, this is an important one for me because it brings me back to this truth that I'm well aware of, which is the fact that there's really no such thing as evil. That evil is merely good, distorted, tortured, and twisted by circumstances, by situations, by conditions which the individual is not equipped to handle. And this is no fault of the individual, of course. Nobody really gives us the tools necessary to prevent this distortion from happening. And so if you've been raised in a neighborhood where drugs and gang violence is the norm, then you will seek validation and comfort and education from this environment. And this will distort whatever good is in you. It doesn't mean that the good is absent. It just means that it's been twisted up and it's taken on kind of an ugly form. But you can always reverse this process. And case in point, many people do. But for every individual like this, there are probably hundreds more who never find a way out. And the good in them remains distorted and twisted. But the key point for me here is to remember that there really is no such thing as evil. And the same can be said about human attributes and qualities. I don't think that there are virtues and that there are sins. They are actually one and the same, a single spectrum. Taken to one extreme, we call it a virtue. Taken to the other extreme, we call it a sin. But in truth, it is merely a quality or the absence of a quality. So even the things that you consider flaws in yourself are not actually flaws. They're just qualities, neither good nor bad. So for instance, greed, in my opinion, is an ugly quality to have. But greed is merely self-preservation taken to the extreme. When it gets out of control, it becomes a problem. But when it's moderated, it is healthy, it is natural, and it is necessary. Because if I don't go out and work and buy groceries for my family, we will starve. And so we come back to the quote, good and evil, these things are merely different expressions of a single quality. And in the absence of one, we find the other, but in truth, they're one and the same. I like what Gibran says. It allows me to be more compassionate and more understanding when I'm faced with the types of people that I might have previously considered to be evil or bad. It reminds me that what I see as evil or bad in these people is merely the good in them, which has been starved and tortured and distorted by conditions, by factors, by situations that are in all likelihood beyond their influence or control. It makes me feel like I can understand these people more, and as soon as I understand them, I don't feel the kind of animosity and anger towards them that I once did. So thank you. Thank you, Kahlil Gibran, for writing The Prophet, one of the finest books ever written. And thank you for reminding me of this subtle but important fact. Well, that's all the time I have for you today. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to live well.